Pregame.com.
Fez, no doubt about it, a key to becoming a pro is taking advantage of soft, inefficient markets. This is Brett Powers, Pregame.com studios, just off the Vegas Strip. And speaking of soft, inefficient markets, we're talking the WNBA here. And Fez, my notes say, is this a misprint? You hit 78% out of the entire WNBA season last year. Give me a couple tips on how I can at least come close to that this year.
Well, small sample. 23 plays, 18-5, but a big part of it is just that the WNBA betting marketplace is inefficient. When I'm betting, I'm taking advantage of, frankly, mispricings and bad numbers that are put up by the bookmakers, and I don't blame the bookmakers at all. They've got their priorities correct here. Let's think about being a bookmaker. All football season, guys are betting 10 dimes a game against you. In the NFL, 5 dimes a game against you in college football. You put up a bad number, it's going to cost your book a lot of money. Then you move into college basketball, NBA. Finally, we can breathe a little summertime. Still got some big limits on baseball. Then you got all these ancillary sports, the golf matchups, the WNBA, NASCAR, tennis. You go ahead and put them up, but there are limited resources. You can't be analyzing all these games. And a hidden secret is that most bookmakers just copy the number that one offshore puts out, and that becomes the prevalent number in the WNBA after it's tweaked by a few bettors. And the bookmakers in Vegas and offshore most of them put little to no thought other than to just following and copying the market.
All right, let's talk specific examples of taking advantage of an inefficient WNBA market. 2 years ago, 2016, there were some changes to the 24-second shot clock. What were they, and how did you take advantage?
Yeah, so what happened, they had the 24-second clock for quite some time, but then on offense, you got an offensive rebound. Instead of the shot clock resetting to 24, it reset to 14. That made all the difference in the world. Team would be up 14. They would miss. They'd get the rebound, kick it back out, run the clock. But as soon as they knew that it was going to reset to 14, it almost programmed all the players, hey, if I get an offensive rebound, go back up, so it had an even greater impact than what you would have thought, wound up increasing scoring about 3 points.
All right, let's talk about the differences. WNBA compared to the NBA, what are some of the biggest differences?
Yeah, I would say the number one difference is in the schedule. In the NBA, we're always looking for those, pop mail-in spots with 82 games where the teams are just going to rest 3 starters and not care about it. However, the WNBA, only 34 games, no 4 games in 5 nights type of scheduling. Very rarely to even have 3 games in 4 nights. And with only 34 games, each one being very important, you will almost always see each and every team playing hard to win every night.
All right, unlike the parity in the NFL, NBA doesn't have much parity. Very top-heavy league. More parity in the WNBA compared to the NBA?
No. And if anything, because of the playoff format, less parity, if that's possible. The reason being Minnesota Lynx, very much the best team, defending champions, almost got beat by the Sparks, the number 2 team. But the Lynx had arguably the best team, like Golden State. Golden State gets Durant. Minnesota Lynx gets Sylvia Fowles, big gal in the middle. That cemented them as the very best team. And also the playoff format, this is crazy. It's a professional sport, and it's like a MAC conference tourney. Double buys into the Final Four if you're the number 1 or number 2 team. So basically, it almost ensures that the top 2 teams have every opportunity. They'll be rested to put their best foot forward and meet in the final. So long story short, you're looking for a dark horse to get to the WNBA and win it? No, not going to happen. Bet on the best record or the second best record team.
Second key tip when it comes to betting the WNBA.
Second key tip is injuries. They are underreported in the WNBA and not valued correctly. Let's contrast this with the NBA. Jaylen Brown gets a hamstring injury for Boston. They show him on the exercise bike. Is he going to be okay to play game 1, play game 2? How much is he worth? Is he worth 1.25 points? If he's 100%, maybe it'll be worth 3/4 of a point if he can play because he won't be 100%. It's all analyzed. It's all in the number. In the WNBA, it's the wild, wild west, man. People don't know. 1, they don't know how much these gals are worth. 2, they don't even know if they're going to be playing oftentimes, and it just can wreak havoc upon what the number should be.
And speaking of taking advantage of players, forget injuries, playing or not playing, weeks 1 and 2 in the WNBA, you're going to have a lot of players missing in action. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So in Europe, for whatever reason, the gals in Europe, basketball is bigger. Women's basketball is way bigger. They can make like 10 times more. So you have situations where almost all the best players are playing in Europe. We have a brand new WNBA team here. We stole the San Antonio Stars. Now they're the Las Vegas Aces. First year playing in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay. Our 3 best players are playing in Europe right now. So Kayla Mcbride, our best player, when is she getting back? Well, whenever her season ends in Europe. I'm not really sure. So as reports come out, is she going to be back 3 days before the season starts? Is she going to be back for game 2? Evaluating 1, whether she's going to play, and 2, is she even going to recognize half her teammates because she flew in the night before the first game she played?
Very powerful point there. Even when they come back, they got to adjust to a new team, new teammates. Love these tips, Fez. Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Let's make it official here. The WNBA marketplace is simply not that efficient. It's beatable. A dedicated bettor will know the teams and the players better than the bookmakers. And key injuries are often misvalued. Unlike the NBA, many key injuries are not priced at all into the line. The Fez Math says the WNBA is beatable. More videos, pregame.com.